All right, everybody, we are back. Another news feed here for you. This one kicking it right off. 2026 Silverado 1500 gets fuel economy rating changes. Not that this matters much, but there are definitely some technical people that are going to really want to know this. So we're putting it in here and we're covering it quickly. And they give us a chart for it here. So they're saying that 2026, final year of this pickups generation. We know that 2027 gets a new motor. Is going to get that new engine in it and all the details there. But they are getting for 2026 a slight fuel economy ratings change. Could be for many reasons. It says right down here too that it could be mechanically unchanged from one year to the next. It can sometimes have slightly different fuel economy ratings for a few reasons. Sometimes EPA will perform an audit and give slightly different results in the original test. Other times it could be different changes in tires that they put on. Whatever the case is, it's not a big deal. But here is your number changes by model. So here we go. Like if you got a Turbo Max 2.7 in the custom, you got the custom version in a two-wheel drive, you gain 1 mile per hour. Here you can see a difference. Okay, 2026 goes up to 20 mpgs combined from 19 mpgs. The same thing on the four-wheel drive one on the Turbo Max. You're going 21 and 19 from 20 to 18. So you're up one there. You're up one on the combined for the so basically the Turbo 2.7 is gaining an MPG, which is a very nice thing. The 5.3 liter is dropping in MPG, as you can see in a lot of these right here, which you can look at. And the 6.2 pretty much stays the same. The turbo diesel 3 liter, the 3 liter Duramax, on a two-wheel drive one, you're getting a 1 MPG change. Everything else is staying the same. Four-wheel drive custom Trail Boss gains 1 MPG for the 3 liter combined. So a couple little interesting changes are not going to be much noticed, but again, it's worth noting on here for you and just talking about it for a quick second. And we did moving on from there. This one here. Sierra and the Sierra Canyon and Savannah units need a transmission reaction carrier fix. Now I find that very interesting because that it's not the Colorado, the Silverado also included in this. Maybe it will later, but according to a newly released GM dealer bulletin, some 25 and 26 model year units may need a transmission reaction carrier fix. The transmission reaction carrier acts as an essential anchor point for the automatic transmission's planetary gear set. While the gears themselves will create the different ratios, it's the reaction carrier that holds them firm, absorbing the torque and enabling that gear change to happen. Its design is critical for handling immense stresses of powertrain operation, which can be significant in truck and van applications. So it's a pretty significant deal here. They tell you, customer satisfaction program, here's your number for you, indicates that select 25 and 26 GMC Canyon, Savannah, and the 2025 Sierra 1500 with the L8, 8L80 or the 8L90 transmissions have a risk of the transmission reactor carrier cracking. GM certified technicians will inspect the affected models and, if necessary, replace the reaction carrier. So they're going to look at it, and if it's good, you're good. If you look at it and it's broke, they're going to replace it then. To determine which vehicles need these fixes, dealerships must review and investigate vehicle history database in the GM Global Warranty Management System. Vehicles tagged as needing repairs may have the aforementioned issue. So they will dive into this. As usual, any affected GM unit is in dealer inventory, being new, pre-owned, certified, or Car Bravo, or used as a courtesy or shuttle vehicle, must be held in expected repairs before consumers can take possession of the vehicle. These units cannot be traded to other dealers or sent to auction before they are fixed. This one I highlighted in a different color here because this is interesting. GM owners who take their vehicle in for service must also be held until they are inspected and repaired. So I'm assuming if you bring your Canyon in for an oil change at a dealership, they are going to flag it and check this, and what you think might be a 30-minute oil change might end up being a couple of days repair if this has to be done, or however long this takes. Because it says right here, GM owners who take their vehicles in for service must be held until they are inspected and repaired. And you know how dealers are today. That may not mean that they're going to just send it right from the oil change room right over to the bay, and may not be a bay available for 10 days before you get it. I find that interesting. These actions will be performed at no charge to the customer, regardless of vehicle mileage or age, until October 31st, 2027. So that's all they're taking care of this through is till then. So you're going to get it in, obviously, before then and have it checked out. Courtesy transportation may be provided, but not in all cases. Owners of affected vehicles will also receive a letter informing them that these repairs must be performed and to schedule an appointment with their dealership. So it doesn't tell us how many. It doesn't give us any info. We don't know much of nothing on this yet, but it's not a recall. It is GM jumping in and getting it fixed ahead of time, but it is something that if you own a Canyon or a Sierra, 25 or 26 or a Savannah, you're going to want to dive in and get this taken care of and looked at for sure. Next one here. A lot of great information in this one article. So I highlighted some. We're going to go through it quick. I'm not reading the whole thing, but it is pretty interesting. We have covered a lot of this stuff already, but this one throws some extra tidbits in here. Okay, it says looking no further than the auto industry for indication U.S. consumers could be facing a K-shaped economy where the wealthy keep seeing gains and those who have lower incomes struggle. Okay, we're seeing that already. Auto loan delinquency rates near all-time high for those with lower credit ratings. We knew that. Consumers who can afford new vehicles are on a buying spree, while those on tighter budgets are staying out of the market. Again, I'm just firing a lot of information at you here because it's a lot of tidbits. Today's automaker is being more driven by wealthier households. Auto market is being more driven by wealthier households who have access to capital, good loan rates, and are propping up the higher end of the market. So the wealthy people are spending the money. Economists have warned that the U.S. economy is increasingly K-shaped following the corona pandemic and consumers experiencing different realities depending on their income level. Rules for thee, not for me. Money for me, not for you. You know, it's this kind of thing. Wealthy Americans have been assisted by rising house values, lucrative stock market returns, and favorable credit, while lower and middle income buyers have faced tighter budgets and are being hit harder by rising inflation. It is ugly times out there for many people. We have already for a while now talked about a K-shaped outlook for the consumer. Some consumers are doing well, some are doing less well. New car buying has faced rising sticker prices, smaller discounts, higher loan rates since the pandemic, especially for those with the worst credit scores. And they're even many banks won't even lend to lower credit scores anymore because of the risk factor. New auto loan rate is 9% as most recent data from August from Cox Automotive. That includes rates of about 18 to 20% for subprime or deep subprime consumers who have lower credit scores and are more likely to default on a loan. However, a video I just made literally 10 minutes ago, I don't know when it'll publish, but I just recorded it, said that actually prime borrowers, people that have 720 and higher credit, they're the ones defaulting at a faster rate than subprime are actually right now. Last month's last month's record price of $50,080 comes into auto loan delinquencies as well, and it says it's increased in recent months and years, particularly for consumers with subprime credit and those with a score below 620. Pretty to be expected. It says here's some more of those tidbits. 6.4% of subprime auto loans in August were at least 60 days past due, in line with the record high that was in January of 6.45. So it hasn't gone down. Delinquency rates for borrowers with higher credit scores have remained relatively stable, but the article I just did disagreed with that. Said no. Said that prime borrowers are actually, their delinquency rate is on a rise. Says U.S. financing is at a breaking point. Americans own over $1.66 trillion in auto debt. That's pretty interesting. It follows the analysis the New York Fed found car buying with a above average credit score. See, look at what they call above average credit score. 620 to 679 is above average credit score, were twice as likely to fall behind as those they were before the pandemic. Interesting. Monthly payments of $1,000 more account for 19.1% of all final car transactions. Third quarter, previous quarter was 19.3, so it's getting a little better, but still pretty ugly. Today's market is ripe for disruption, is what they are saying. So interesting little tidbits of information in this one, and ugly times all the way around. The writing is on the wall. I recommend we read it. Questions, comments, anything you got, put it below. Thanks for watching.